I find being an artistic person that the fear of failure is attached very deeply. It's woven into the tapestry of being successful as a creative person or an artist. What's your thoughts on the idea of being successful or being a failure? Because if, for example, if we look at if we take, for example, social media communication channels, what seems to be the norm is that people advertise the veneer of I'm successful, it just happened in a moment, I just had this great idea, I woke up one day, and they don't seem to chart the failures, which are the turning points, which are the points that builds metal, METTLE.
Yeah.
Just in case people are thinking metal. So I just want to find out from you what your idea of success and failure is, and how, if we're saying to somebody, this is your first step of personal transformation, how can you disassociate what you feel about success and failure and just be how do you work with those two grand themes?
So a lot of the times where we start is to see ourselves in the ideal. So that is what the success would be if you attain the ideal. And we have to establish that it is a journey. There's not a magic wand that somebody is going to wave and you're going to have this thing. So you have to understand that it's a journey. And what does a journey involve? It involves building muscle. It involves learning. It involves expanding. And, if you do have failures along the way, and we most certainly will, because this is life, if you can change your perspective about it, so it's not that you're a failure, but you've tried something, now you know that it doesn't work and you can amend. So it's being open. So again, it's mindset work as well, which is a lot of what we do in transformational coaching, is to shift your perspective, because it takes, I was reading recently in a book, Think and Grow Rich, that it takes the same amount of energy or effort to have fear and to have faith. So it's just a mindset as to which one is it that you want to hold on to. And it's natural to be fearful of things, but it makes you aware of what the possible pitfalls could be. But if you should hold on to it and wallow in it, 1 year from now, you will still be where you are today if you don't take that, that step. It's not easy. It might be simple, but it's not easy, because change is, it's uncomfortable. But if you should see the vision of where it is that you want to go, that could be a motivation to keep you going, because let's say you've seen the thing that you want. So if it's going to be uncomfortable for a while, what is the alternative? The alternative is just staying where you are. So you do have to choose either fear or faith. And yes, fear, as I said, is something that comes with life. But if we change our perspective and think of it as lessons, at least now you shouldn't do a particular thing, and you can amend slightly or amend great measure, but lessons, I would just call it life lessons. We all have some, some bigger than others, some more painful than others, but next time you wouldn't do that, will you? or you think twice about it. So it's just to shift perspective and think of it as lessons, and also to understand that the alternative is staying where you are.
And it's true what you said, and I've gone through the idea of reinvention and getting out of the comfort zone myself many times. I think for me, the way I view it is the level of discomfort. So you can be uncomfortable staying where you are, or you can measure that up against the discomfort during that transformational change. And I think for people, you have to, for me, and I guess it might be helpful for other people, is to weigh up which one is going to give me more discomfort, because it could be the slow burn of just staying where you are and not trying to answer that call, that's innate call. And that's a slow, long burn. I imagine it to be dripping tap, just a dripping tap, and you can't find where the valve is to switch it off. It's just that dripping tap constantly, against the discomfort, which could be like a paper cut. It's painful right now, but in time it will heal. That's how, if the vision in my head of how I...
that's where the philosophy is coming, isn't it?
Oh. Maria, I love you. See, now it's what...
That's where it is.
I'm using it. And the film, because the film I'm kind of visualising. It's,
Natasha, that's absolutely correct. And I think that is why it's important, as one of the first things that somebody does on their transformational journey, is to visualize that ideal. So yes, staying where you are might be painful with the drip effect, and you may well think that it's preferable to, taking a step. But if you can see that picture that you've painted as the ideal, then in those periods or in those times of discomfort, you can say, okay, this is a bit painful now, but I am working towards something. So it's just putting your mind on that better future that you have painted for yourself. And you've seen it, you've created it in your mind, because this is one of the things that you would do for visualization and goal setting. So if you set a goal, while it's uncomfortable and you have belief that you are taking steps in the right direction, you could take those steps, small steps. I always believe in small steps. If you can't make the big steps, small steps, and the compound effects of those small steps will move you along. So a new habit is always uncomfortable, but after a week, it's okay. It's a little less painful. About a month, it's slightly less painful than that. And before you know it, you're doing it easily. I mean, let's take push-ups, for example. You go to the gym and this is the first time you're doing push-ups. You'll probably do, I don't know, I'll do 2 or 3 and then I'll be on my face on the floor in the gym. But next week I might end up doing 5. And the week after that, you're building that muscle. So very soon, you're down in the gym and you're doing push-ups in style, because you build that muscle. So it could be gradual, because I've seen that picture of that 6-pack that I want. So the temporary working on improving myself with the push-ups, because I have seen that picture of me on the beach in that, bikini, that is something that I can aspire to. That is the goal that I've set myself, and that is what could pull me along. So yes, it's uncomfortable, but I think if we set goals and we have a vivid vision, then that could help us in the times when we are uncomfortable or when it is painful or frustrating, because they will come, because it's life. It's not going to be, perfect every day. So the days when it's not perfect, we could just think of it as lessons, maths lessons. I never liked maths lessons, so I could always use uncomfortable things as maths lessons.
Yes, and becoming comfortable with discomfort, becoming comfortable on that journey, which will be pitted with moments of, what you class as failure, but for somebody else it may not be failure at all. Might be like, my goodness me, you do 10 push-ups in the gym. Wow, you inspired other people. What? Yeah, it's your perspective, of course.